Hello and welcome to another video. We are now in the kitchen. This is one of the kitchen windows. So I bought a insect screen to replace this structure here that I made. It sort of works, but still got lots of problems with flies. And a week ago I had a bat come in at night, which I don't want. So I'm going to see if I can fit a better, more permanent screen that doesn't flap around. These came from a door type of fly screen, which doesn't really work so well, and it's starting to sag down right in the corner. So the only problem is that the window frame on this window doesn't quite allow it to work out like the instructions say, as this is a sliding window and the screen is actually more for a window that opens towards you due to how the frame is, where you can drill and then tap a screw in, put a screw in. With this frame it's a lot different and that may not work. So I may have to drill into the wall at the side and then with a few screws hold the screen in place over there. That will mean getting the ladder and screwing it in on the outside, as this is a second floor kitchen. Alright, so I've got all of the bits and pieces laid out on the counter right over there. So we'll see if we can. The dishwasher is also working nicely. I'm hard at work. You can see if that will work out, making the screen. We do have a nice picture, instructions to follow. Unfortunately, there is no written instructions, which in some cases along with the pictures would be easier. So it's just a picture instruction sheet in many different languages, but pictures are universal. Alright, well, let's see if this will work out. Step number one is to measure the window frame or the area, and then from there we've got to cut the pieces to size, clamp it into the frame, and then we'll see where we go. Okay, so just quickly remove this existing fly screen contraption because it's already coming down in any case. I'll be able to use it for another window, as it is better than nothing. It's just eventually I have to remove all of this sticky stuff. A bit of methylated spirits or something like that should work. Now I've measured the window space, but because I have to do it slightly differently, it's going to be not quite following the instructions. So because I can't show you how the instructions are, I'm going to show that. I just show the end result and see how it looks, but the instructions are quite simple to follow. You can also write on the instructions, there's space to put in the measurements and then how much you have to take off, and then you have to cut the pieces with a saw, cut some things with a scissor, you need a knife, and You need a file as well to file off any burrs from the aluminium. Overall it does look like quite a good kit. It does come with a 5-year warranty as well, if you install it correctly. So overall it doesn't look too bad. We'll see how it looks once it's all installed and how durable it will be. As I say, hopefully it will keep at least all the flies and the mosquitoes and the moths out, so I can at least have the window open in the evening in order to cool the house down. And hopefully no more bats. I've had the bat once through this window and one through the chimney. I'm done with bats. It is just a little mid-build update. The frame is almost built. Just need to tap in this one corner and then this part is done. So just a little bit of advice, because you have to use a rubber hammer or a mallet. I've got this little one here, but I also use this in the garage, so it's a little bit greasy. Just wrap a bit of paper towel over the head of the hammer and then you can just gently hammer it in, otherwise you can make these corners dirty. Then you can make sure that every piece is connected just by resting it on the floor and going around all of the edges. Okay, that should do it. So this covers quite a few steps. I am doing the exterior build, so this is from step 1 all the way up to step 9. So now we've got to do from step 10 to number 13, which is to put the screen into place and then securing the screen to the frame, and then I'll move on to securing the screen to the wall. But we are done, I believe, with the hammer, and then we should be able to continue on with our frame. So let's see how this will work. Right. We also need our clamping pieces. We set these ones, and we need to measure out these clamping pieces. Okay. You can cut them with a knife, or I've got these cutters, side cutters. These are actually for cable ties, but they handle all types of plastic. So this gives a cable tie a smooth cut. Or it says, the description says to cut it with a metal saw. But they should do. Snips it off easy. So I'll do one per side. Let me just check before I continue with this if the frame fits in the window space. Right, let's put the mesh into place. You may need a bit of a counterweight because it keeps wanting to roll back. Make sure to have enough overlap on the edges, which you have to cut away in the end. Right, that seems to be clamped down pretty well. And then you have to do for the other three sides exactly the same, and then cut that off. Okay, that's done. So you do need quite some strong thumbs to press it in, and it automatically tightens it to be nice and tight. On everything, you don't really need to do much. That's the initial way. You start at one side, you just let the weight of the roll hold it in place, do the other side, and then it tensions itself once you insert these plastic strips. So now you have to either cut with a scissor or with a knife this extra leftover off. The instructions say with a knife. You just have to be careful that you don't really want to damage anything, or you can leave a little to stick out and cut it with the scissors. I don't really see too much of the problem. The instructions say to do it exactly right along here, but again, I leave that up to you. Okay, so I'm just going to use the scissors. This scissors. There we go. Quick, easy, done. So now I have to think of a way just to mount this to the outside of the wall. Most likely put it in place, and then with some small screws I may even be able to use a screw supplied, and that it just the screw heads hold it in place against the outside of this framework. Because we don't want it to fall out onto the ground. And it's quite the longest part of this process is cutting each piece of aluminium to the correct size. Once that's done and you filed the burrs off, it's really a matter of minutes of putting this all together. Alright, I've got the ladder downstairs and I've made a mark on the left and on the right, at the top and the bottom of the wall to drill, and then I've got my Bosch hammer drill and some 6mm plugs to drill and then put the screws in, and then that should hopefully hold the screen in place attached to the wall. I will drill from the inside, put the plugs in from the inside, but the screws will have to go in after the screen is in, so that I will do from the ladder. Right, so I've drilled the holes, put the plugs in. Now I need to put the frame into position on the windowsill on the inside, then I can install it from the outside. There we go. And then hopefully everything works out. Let's see. So it has been put in place. I've got the screws on the outside just to prevent it falling back down. Can you tell the difference on the film? Probably not. It's a little bit darker than of course through normal clear glass, but still it's nice and tight. There's no bends in it, no wobbles. So this should keep the mosquitoes, the flies, the moths out. So I can keep the window open at night. Now I just need to put the windows back in because they're not in yet. Just to make sure to push these tabs on the inside back and down. And now we can leave the window wide open. So the other temporary thing I've hung up over there, it is falling a little bit, so I need to get some double-sided tape, stick it back on. This window I don't really have open as much. This main window here in the middle I always have open, so it should work. And then the one above the kitchen sink I don't have open as much. This little window here, so if I just put it on like that kind of a gap, it's fine, nothing gets inside. Alright, thanks for watching this installation of the fly screen. Not 100% according to the instructions, due to the fly screen being for a normal opening window and not for sliding window. As such, can't give a full review on that process, but in terms of how the fly screen looks, how tight it is, and the actual frame, it feels really good. It's made out of aluminium, so for 5 years warranty they should be confident in their product. And the price was €16.99, which is not too bad. Alright, thanks for watching, and if there are any major incidences with this fly screen, I will update it, and see you on the next video. Please like and subscribe.